10 million. That's the total number of manuscripts India holds. 95% still remain unscattered, untranslated, and uncatalogued. While we wait, the rest of the world is building a digital economy on their heritage data, and most of the times on our heritage data. We are building an online archival platform that not only uploads, scans, and searches transcription, but it has OCR, transcription, annotation, multi-script, multi-language, structured metadata. So 5,000 years, the knowledge has waited, but today it becomes findable.
A Gyan Bharat Mission is in the government, we are in the private sector. From the private sector and the government sector, when we work together, we believe that we will be more successful together.
Namaste. In 1881, a British officer by name A.F.H. Hornell bought a bundle of old birchbark manuscripts from a peasant from now what's called Pakistan. He almost didn't buy it because it looked like a bunch of scrap. Now those bunch of scraps turned out to be the Bakshali Manuscript, one of the oldest recorded use for the symbol of zero, backdating about the 3rd or the 4th century. Currently, it's owned and sits in the the UK Library of Bodleian Library of Oxford. India's most important mathematical document, discovered by accident, purchased for almost nothing, now sits in Britain. Good morning. My name is Pooja Porwal. I'm the CEO of MIDF, Manuscripts and Inscription Digitization Foundation. And today I'm going to tell you what we are building and why it cannot wait. $10 million. That's the total number of manuscripts India holds, the single largest manuscript heritage. Greece has about 20,000, China approximately 60,000. And yet, if you query any leading AI agency about Indian mathematics, Indian philosophy, and Indian literature, the answers that are drawn are largely from US or Western-based databases, not because the manuscript data does not exist, but because it's not machine-readable. The image here is not a metaphor, it's a map. What you see above the waterline is published texts, history books, and Wikipedia, and that's the rounding error. But the footnote and the beneath of the surface is 10 million manuscripts ranging in palm leaf, birch barks, and copper plates, containing 5,000 years of historical civilizational data in mathematics, astronomy, medicine, logic, and statecraft. What I'm about to tell you are 3 facts. Jyotadeva, a mathematician from Kerala, wrote the Yuktibhasha in the 16th century, a systematic derivation of infinite series, what we now recognize today as the foundational elements of calculus, predating Newton by almost 200 years. So these manuscripts exist, they are studied by scholars, but none of them are available on the internet or are a part of training model for any AI. The second fact is Sushruta Samhita describes almost 300 surgical procedures, including 120 surgical instruments. It also includes techniques for rhinoplasty, which the Europeans only discovered in the 18th century independently. Most copies are not digitized. Most of them are not even machine-readable. The Arthashastra of Kautilya, a complete treatise of statecraft, economics, and strategy, was considered lost for over 1,000 years. Only rediscovered in 1905 in a manuscript in Mysore by a librarian called R. Shama Sastri. 1,000-year-old gap, because one copy survived unnoticed in a regional collection. These 3 texts were found, but the question MIDF is asking, how many more texts are not being found yet? India has about 1 to 3 crore manuscripts, out of which the government or the Namami has been able to document only 6.8% of it, out of which 0.8% is the digitized manuscripts, and only 0.2, which is less than a quarter, a quarter, is a searchable script. With inscriptions, the numbers are fairly better, wherein out of 100%, 35% are printed, 20% scanned, and 9% searchable. But even after this effort, 95% of our civilizational record is functionally non-existent because it sits in a format that no computer can read. Let me show you specifically what the infrastructure problem on the ground looks like. Heritage data is locked in incompatible hard drives scattered across the country. Past digitization attempts, and there have been multiple attempts, have been able to only generate static images. Digitization is largely driven by local passion rather than sustained capital. And critically, without a unified Indian repository, our researchers and institutes are forced to rely on foreign databases to access our own history. Now let's get to the numbers, and these numbers should embarrass us. Europe, with over 200 million pages of their historical text, which is already deciphered, are processing at an industrial scale and training over with 300 plus custom AI models. China and their OCR achieving 97.5% accuracy is processing 30 times faster than manual transcription. But India, with over 400 to 500 million pages, 10 million manuscripts, has near zero structured extraction. It has no unified repository, forcing foreign dependency. Government bodies have done fair share work by preserving millions of manuscripts, but as I mentioned, only 95% still remain unscattered, untranslated, and uncatalogued. While we wait, the rest of the world is building a digital economy on their heritage data, and most of the times on our heritage data. We are building an online archival platform that not only uploads, scans, and searches transcription, but it has OCR, transcription, annotation, multi-script, multi-language, structured metadata. So when a raw image goes in, quality queryable data comes out. This is a snippet of our platform. Because for 5,000 years, the knowledge has waited, but today it becomes findable. We have 4 validated pilots, and to be transparent, we are still very early. We are day 0 and version 1. 2 of our pilots, e-Gangotri, e-Sahitya, are focusing on manuscripts, while e-Gangotri has digitized over 82,000 rare text, 2 crore pages, and 18,000 manuscripts, while e-Sahitya is working with 65 lakh manuscript portfolio preservation. Another internal organization focuses entirely on inscriptions. They've set up a stalwart department which is focusing extensively on inscriptions, while another team is working on catalogus catalogorum. The manuscripts are sitting in libraries in the country across Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Gujarat, Karnataka, containing original contributions to human knowledge, written by scholars whose names we've partially forgotten. Our heritage is vast and fragile. While launching this platform marks a milestone in accessibility of the data, the journey of digitizing the remaining millions of manuscripts and inscriptions is extensively undertaking. We invite you, to those who value our shared history, to join us in sustaining our work and building India's civilizational history in a secured, permanent platform. Thank you.
Mysuru and Pune Bhandarkar Institute. The problem is they have look for a particular document. That itself is a task, because when we ask them, they say you buy our index. So index is basically list of all the documents that I have. But I mean, like, I'm not sure whether they have the scriptures that I'm looking for. But they say, okay, first you buy the index, and when you go to buy index, they say, oh, there are like 50 indexes, that different copies, and you have to buy all 50, which is impractical. So would this portal, I mean, MIDI would help research, because I am looking for certain scriptures which are known to be not existing any longer, but some say there were references, okay, it was last seen in either in Vadodara or Jaipur, or probably this is Czech, Mysuru, but it's like a basically no-go. So what you want to say about finding some scriptures?
Sure. Joining us today, we have our technical head, Sudarshan ji. So I think he will be the best person.
I work with Pooja in MIDF. My name is Sudarshan. I am very happy that you came to this talk. So to answer your question, we are right now in the process, we have a team in Delhi making an index of about 5 lakh manuscripts. So we are importing from various indices, various repository indices. So we hope to have within a few months a very reasonably starting comprehensive online searchable index. So you will be able to search all these things.
Okay, great.
Yeah, with the index, the call number of the manuscript in that respective library and all that. Hopefully we should launch this, make this online soon.
Thank you.
Nice to know about this, and I'd like to get in touch with your team in Delhi. I'm Delhi based only. Last 25 years, National Manuscript Mission, what they have done, what is their state of the work, which was part of the Indira Gandhi National Center of Arts, and how you have borrowed or something, what is the connection, something on those lines, if you can tell me.
May I know your background, sir? I
am commercial pilot by profession, but for lifelong I had been a student of Indian civilization, culture, heritage, and correction of narratives, chronology, dating our text, and knowledge system.
Oh, amazing. Naam boliyega.
Sachin Gupta. I am Delhi-based pilot, but I have been associated with many conferences on Vedic River Saraswati and all history and culture and civilizational issues.
Sachin Gupta ji, बहुत अच्छा लगा आप यहाँ आए, और I would like to know more about your work. And when you mentioned National Manuscripts Mission, behind you is Professor Yogananda, who used to be part of National Manuscripts Mission, used to be a member of that. So there was a lot of work done by National Manuscripts Mission during the NDA 1 period. In NDA 2 period, I was told that it's not much work.
Much work. And when UPA government came around 2010, there was one senior person from archaeological retired. He said they have asked me whether to continue or close it.
No, right now it has been morphed into an organization called Gyan Bharat Mission, which is not very far from here. They are based in Connaught Place. Connaught Place.
That is on Janpat.
Janpat Connaught Place, in that place, a big LIC building. They are based there. They have a much bigger team, much bigger budget. We are working with them. We are interacting with them on a day-to-day basis, trying to understand what they are doing and how we can help them. So we would like to cooperate with them and multiply the effort and do things that we should, like Pooja mentioned, do things that we should have done 50 years ago.
Right. This is the
So Gyan Bharat is primarily digitizing manuscripts, and we are going to be digitizing manuscripts as well as inscriptions. We are creating an online repository which is going to be accessible by everybody. Accessible and searchable. So
how is it different? The difference is something that you already know, Professor Gauriji. Gyan Bharat Mission is in the government, we are in the private sector. And so when we work together, Vidyancha avidyancha yadyadvedo ubhayam saha vidyaya amrutam Vidya amrutam ashnute. Amritamashnute. So from the private sector and the government sector, when we work together, we believe that we will be more successful together.
From Udaipur also this type of work is
That
going
is
on.
correct. So the organization in Udaipur, it is called Dharoghar. They
Yeah, I
have
know.
such a big initiative going on. She listed, we did not list all of that in the India map. As an example, we had a few. In Koba Theerth, the world's largest manuscript library is in Koba Theerth in Gandhinagar. They did not know that they are the largest in the world. And they're also having an initiative. These are all disparate. So they like this, and you probably know the Koba Theerth library, the largest manuscript repository in the world, was started only 12-13 years ago. The Swamiji said, आपके घरों में जो पढ़े हैं पुस्तक हस्तलिखित मैनुस्क्रिप्ट पांडुलिपियां जो हैं, कृपया यहाँ ले आइएगा, we will protect it.
And they are maintaining it
And
very
just with that,
meticulously, very
people
nicely.
started bringing it from villages, and it became the largest one in the world. You can imagine how many more are lying around, getting destroyed every day in the villages in India. So lot of such initiatives. So India जागृत हो रही है, भारत जागृत हो रहा है. So गांवों में, जिलाओं में, we can see many such initiatives. Dr. Aarti mentioned Mythic Society in Bangalore. They just finished digitizing 75,000 manuscripts in Mysore. I was not aware, nobody was aware, there were 75,000 there. When they removed the bundle, they are saying, अरे इसमें 3 हैं. हम सोच रहे थे कि एक book है. There is only 1 book here. When they remove the bundle, there are 3 books, there are 5 books. What we thought was 24,000, this was the number during the British time. We were all sleeping on that number. When they opened it, 74 or 77,000 manuscripts were found. So there were cases where you mentioned that you saw in some list that this manuscript is there. I also went to, in Gujarat, South Gujarat, forget the name, Vadnagar. No, not Vadnagar. Jamnagar.
I know, I have seen Jamnagar in bed sheets.
Yes.
They have piled up all the manuscripts of Ayurveda. Jamnagar is the
Acha.
biggest publication house for Ayurveda books.
Acha.
Yeah.
I went to another repository in Jamnagar. In 1961, David Pingree had gone there and he had catalogued that I found Garg Samhita there. Today that book doesn't exist. And rain has come in, चूहे खा लिए हैं सब कुछ पुस्तकों को, वैसे पढ़े हैं, and nobody knows what is there, what is not there. What was available to those scholars, Western scholars in 1960s, 70s, today we don't have access. They're all destroyed. Anyway, this story, मतलब आपको रोना है. I लेके जाऊंगा manuscript libraries. You can see how our heritage is getting destroyed. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.